What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Matt Burrill, here to tell you guys about my friends from Big Friendly Productions. Now, they specialize in creating merchandise for bands, artists, and even lifestyle brands. With their in-house equipment, they can provide shirts, branded hats, and more, as well as some graphic design services. They offer order fulfillment to handle your online orders and ship your merch straight to your fans from their shop down in good old Birmingham, Alabama, baby. Now, whether you are getting your first shirt, you're just starting out, or you're going on a 40-show run, hit them up for all your merchandising needs. Check out their website, bigfriendlyproductions.com, or shoot them an email, merchandising@bigfriendlyproductions.com. Now, we're going to get into the episode. This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill. Also, make sure you guys like, rate, subscribe, tell your mama and them. And for more details and to get in touch with the rest of the familia, visit raisrowdy.com. Now, let's get into it. Outside the Round with me, Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast.
Come on.
This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Outside the Round with me, Matt Burrill. Today, we have got a very special guest. Our first in a long time non-country guest. We told you guys when we rebranded to Outside the Round that we were going to be getting guys and girls that span across all different genres of music, that do things outside of music. And today we've got our good friend, Miss Taylor Acorn, a fellow Northerner,
Hello.
native of Pennsylvania. And you have been going literally all over the damn world, right?
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. Honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. We got back, I think it was like in the end of June, and it still feels like it didn't even happen.
And those were like the big festivals
They
that
were
like as a
big.
kid you watch on YouTube. Like I remember watching like Slipknot set at like the Download Festival and
Yeah.
like Rock am Ring and like all these big festivals in Europe and
Yeah.
like spending over to like Russia and all over the damn place. And it's like you got to actually live that shit.
I
Like,
did. It was unreal, and it's funny you say Slipknot because the very first festival we played was Rock for People, and it was in like Czech Republic, and I was scheduled originally to play my slot during Slipknot's, and they were the very last band of the night to play, and I was like, there is no way in hell that anybody is going to come watch me if we're playing when Slipknot is playing. And luckily we had somebody who was nice enough to be like, well, hey, you can play after them if you want, where there's a slim chance that like everybody's going to be tired and like want to go back to their tents and stuff or go home. And we decided to take that route, and I'm so glad we did because they were the loudest band it was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Do they still have it? I've never seen them live, but I know they've been doing it for years. Like
Yeah.
so they still rock. They still rock out. Corey still does his thing.
He does, and it was wild too because their keyboardist, I guess they had let him go literally like the day before, and they had made this big post about it, and they're like, at first it was kind of nice, and then they took it down, and then at that show, they had his mask on like a turntable, so it looked like his head was on this turntable just spinning around, and there was like the new keyboardist, and they're like, oh, who's this guy? But it was wild. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I love festival culture. We do a lot with Raise Rowdy. We go to a lot of country
Yeah.
festivals. So we're going to be going to a rock festival. We're going to be going to Louder Than Life this year
Oh, no way.
up in Kentucky because we have like a rock segment that we do with Rowdy. We call it Rowdy Alternative. Our boy Sam up in Cincinnati, and the big one for us going to that is Limp Bizkit's playing. So
Oh, no freaking way.
we're big butt rock guys. We love that 90 from like 97 to
Listen.
like 2005, like
Yeah.
Creed, Limp
Stained,
Bizkit,
Puddle of Mud.
dude. Yeah, you're
all of
talking our
that.
language.
Listen, I'm a huge butt rock fan as well. I guess
Yeah.
that's what you would call it, dad rock.
Yeah,
butt rock.
I did some research. So I used to work in radio too.
Okay.
I was a radio DJ in Jersey, and it was funny. The last station I worked with was like Soccer Mom Radio.
No way.
The moniker for it was today's hits, yesterday's favorites, Magic 98.3. So I was
Nickelback.
it was like Madonna and like Taylor Swift and Bruno
Oh.
Mars and Ed Sheeran. And there's my 22-year-old ass on there talking to all these like 50-year-old moms on the radio. Like
I love that.
It was Magic
That's
98.3.
amazing.
But I got to, but like the word butt rock, it comes from the rock stations back in the day. So like MMR out of Philly and stations like that, it was nothing but rock. So that's where, that was like the 2000s thing, which is where it comes
Makes
from. And of
sense.
course it's spelled, we spell it B-U-T-T, like butt rock,
Of
you know?
course.
Nikki T, my business partner in Raised Rowdy, was actually at a festival up in Michigan this week, and we had a tattoo guy up there, our buddy Mike Stoll, and Nikki got a butt rock tattoo on his butt.
I love that.
Like it's like a picture of like an ass, and then underneath it is the word rock, and
That's
there's like an
bold.
arrow pointing up. Yeah, that's
That's
Nikki
bold.
T.
I
It's-
love
It's
that.
all a bit. It's all a bit, you know.
Hey, I mean, you got to commit to the bit sometimes.
Exactly. So for you, you've been down here since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of got you to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna make this move down here?
So I've always loved music, but again, you and I kind of talked about beforehand, like we're both from the north.
Yeah.
And I'm from a really small town called Wellsboro in like north central PA. And it's literally an hour to like a mall. We're kind of like closer towards like the New York State border. So like Corning and Elmira and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we still had to drive like an hour to get to anything remotely like fun. And, you know, I graduated with a handful of kids. Like it was a really small school, and no one really played music or made music or anything like that. At least to like the standard that I wanted to. You know, I wanted to become like a singer-songwriter, but also being in such a small town and no one really knowing how to do that, I kind of just, you know, set that whole dream aside. And, you know, I went to college and I did that whole thing for a while. I ran track and field and tried to navigate my way through all of that. And I just always kept coming back to music. That was the one thing that could get me through any shitty time that I was going through, or like any breakup, anything. And so I started to take it a little bit more seriously. I decided to leave school, and my mom at that time had moved to Virginia. And I was working at Texas Roadhouse, and I would go around and I would just like play like 3-hour sets at like a diner or a bar or something like that. And granted, no one would ever like really show up to watch me. It was like my mom and maybe a handful of friends. And at the same time, I started doing little YouTube videos, and I would do covers and things like that. And a guy who was actually interning at Universal had found me on YouTube. Because I had like one random Taylor Swift cover that just went absolutely viral. It was like when she had taken all of her work off of the internet and you could only buy it.
A great time for Taylor Swift covers.
Yes, and I did a cover, and what happened was somebody like took that cover and they pitched it up, and everybody thought it was Taylor Swift when it was really me. I remember going and like burning a CD of like Taylor Swift songs, because obviously like broke, don't want to have to buy a whole album.
Yeah.
I remember listening to it and giving it to my sister, and she was like, "Why does this sound like you?" And I looked, and it was me. They had just taken my voice and like put like 1989 cover over it and just, you know, acted like it was Taylor Swift. But he found me through that, and then he was like really encouraging me to go to Nashville. And at that time, I'd kind of started dabbling with writing. I didn't know if I was any good, and I wouldn't really share it with anybody. And then I started like kind of posting videos of my songwriting here and there. A lot of them I would delete because I was just like so insecure about it. But
were you writing rock stuff, or was it country at that time?
I mean, like, I don't really know, because my wheelhouse and what I've always loved is like rock music and like pop punk. And I grew up, you know, listening and going to like Warped Tour, so listening to all those Warped Tour bands like Story So Far, Mayday Parade, like All Time Low, all of those bands. And then I kind of found my way into like the deeper rock scene, like In This Moment and stuff like that, which I don't think I could ever write that kind of music, but I did love it. And so I think like the style of music that I was writing was just kind of like a big mix of all of that. But I think my tone, whenever people would listen to it, they would instantly think like country. And obviously, you know, I'm a blonde girl and I'm tall and I played the guitar. And of course, like the natural thing is, you're like Taylor Swift, you know, like you should do this. And so that's kind of in my brain what I thought I needed to be doing at the time. And so when this guy reached out to me and was like really wanting me to pursue music, everything that I was writing, I would just write in my room at home. I would send it over to him in like a voice memo, and then he would send it off to a producer. They'd build the track, and then I flew to Nashville eventually and just did my whole, like, I guess it was an EP, which was my very first project that I ever put out.
That's
and
awesome.
So it was like very weird how it all happened. And then from then on, I was like, I guess a country artist,
Yeah, doesn't it feel good to now like be doing things that where you're like you figure it out? It takes time being in town, I think, to figure out what your sound is, like who Taylor Acorn is as an artist. Because writing, like, there's a lot of folks I think that come down here and they get stuck in the country thing, and now Nashville's as much of a rock town. People don't realize that. There's a lot of rock coming out of Nashville. East Nashville, big rock scene. Places like The End, like Marathon Music Works does a lot of rock shows. Like, there is a big rock presence here. And there's so many, like, guys like Aaron Lewis, you were talking about Stained. Like, there's rock artists, like heritage rock artists that live here now, and it's as much a rock town as it is a country town. Like, so the perfect time for someone like you to be doing what you're doing.
I know. I mean, and honestly, I think if there are a lot of times where I like look back and I'm like, damn, I wish I would have just like stuck with what I wanted to do from the beginning. But you're right. Like, we moved to a town like this to find our sound and to kind of figure out our own footing and like what we want to say as artists and things like that. And so like for me, I was, again, like so fresh to everything. I had no idea about the music industry. I had no idea about like writing music with other people and anything like that. And so I'm really happy that it's happening now, because I feel like if it would have happened then, I wouldn't have been able to appreciate it as much as I do now.
Absolutely.
And like live through the moments that we've been through, like going to Europe and doing those things. Like, it's insane. Like to look back on like all of those times and how I even got here to begin with is like insane.
Yeah, what were you guys traveling around in Europe? Because I spent a lot of time on the road. I worked up until recently as a tour manager for Trey Lewis, so I was out on the road with him in a van, in a bandwagon, in a bus, all kinds of stuff. And before that, I was out with Muscadine Bloodline selling merch. So I've done the touring thing, done the 100-something shows a year, and gone all around the U.S., but I've never gone like international. Like, so for you with the touring stuff, is it is it a lot of like van touring right now? Or
it was. So it was van touring when we were out there. We were in like a little Sprinter. It was crazy because the way everything was set up, we were kind of set up to fail. I won't lie. I was working with somebody who kind of was like, go, 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 go. Yes, yes, yes to everything. And we were getting a lot of festival offers. And I mean, it was insane and kind of unheard of for like a person to get that many, like their first time out there.
Yeah.
And so, obviously me, I'm like, hell yeah, I've been wanting to do this like my whole life. I'm ready. And then it came time, as an independent artist too, like I'm kind of footing the bill for everything.
Yeah.
And it's like getting closer. We had just gotten off tour too. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is very expensive. Oh my gosh, like how are we going to make it from point A to point B? And we only have like set amount of hours and like all of these things. So it was like really stressful. But we hit like, we were in Prague, like the first couple of days. Then we were in Austria. We went to, Switzerland, which was amazing. England, we did that. We played a couple shows in London, and then we did Germany. I'm trying to think. There was a bunch of them, but we drove through to everything.
Yeah, when you like, there's those videos that just pop up in people's like Instagram algorithms, and it's like this scenic view of like Switzerland, and it looks like it's out of a fucking movie. Like, is it like that when you're out there too, where it's just you see these mountains and you're like, how the fuck did I get here?
Literally, and where we played too, we played at the Greenfield Festival, and it's in Interlaken. I don't know if you like have heard anything about that, but it was literally like the drive up was insane. Like the lakes are just crystal clear. There's mountains and like waterfalls that are like just coming off of, and it's just wild because obviously in Tennessee, like there are really pretty spots, but nothing like that, And so we get to the festival and we are literally in like a valley just surrounded by mountains. And it was the most unreal thing. I remember just being on stage and kind of getting distracted by like the whole scenery and like forgetting where I was and what I was doing, because I was like, what is going on? This is insane, but the people are very different there. They're very wonderful, but like the culture and everything is just getting used to all of that was really weird.
Yeah.
too.
Now, who'd you have on the road as like a crew? So you have your band out there with you, and
So I
then
had my band, and then I had my tour manager here from the U.S. She was with us, just because she's one of those people where it's like she watches something one time and then she can do it for like the rest of forever.
that's great to have in a tour
Insane.
manager.
Like
yeah.
she literally will set up our sound, everything. So she's got her stuff down. We had gotten a tour manager from the UK. So she was with us. And then my boyfriend, he does like photo and video. So he
great.
came out with us. He was a treat because he tours and does video and stuff for some artists that are quite bigger than I am. So like for him to come out and like give us his time was really awesome.
That's cool. How'd you get connected with him? What's the
gosh.
romantic story? Because you write a lot of songs that are like of that like breakup angle, but then also like I Think I'm in Love, which a lot of people can relate to.
Yeah.
You know.
So our story is really funny, actually. He is also from Pennsylvania. He's from Johnstown, which is kind of like on the other side.
Yeah.
But he is a really good friends with this guy, Dan, that I write with. They were like college roommates. And oddly enough, when I first moved to Nashville, Dan, the guy that I write with all the time, who's friends with my partner now, he was dating a girl that I grew up with, like from my hometown. It was very weird. And so we kind of all got linked up that way. And at that time, you know, I was in another relationship, kind of doing my own thing in the country world. I just started like with my publishing and everything like that. So my head was in a completely different space. I think I had met him in like passing super quickly. And maybe he messaged me on Instagram and was like, I heard you did track. We should all go hurdle sometime. And he was actually talking about me going hurdling with him and his girlfriend at the time.
What a line.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, I just don't know anybody that like ran track. And so I guess he just thought it would be fun if we all like went to the track together or something. And I just remember reading it and kind of just like disregarding it. I was like, yeah, whatever. you know?
Yeah.
And then fast forward a couple years, Dan, his friend, was playing for my band. And my Dalton, my boyfriend, he had come and he was there to like take photos and stuff like that. And I kind of, you know, met him again. And I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. And then, you know, couple years went by after that, and then like right before COVID hit, I started hanging out with Dan and like his friend group a little bit more. And I saw Dalton. He came into the studio one day, and he looked completely different than he did the first few
looks
times.
good.
Yeah. He had just got back from Europe too, and he had like green hair and like, you know, just skater boy aesthetic. I was like, who is this guy? And I'd asked Dan, I was like, is he single? He was like, yes, he is. And so I shoot my shot and I slid into his DMs, and the rest is history from
That's
there.
awesome. See,
Yeah.
I'm in a happy relationship myself, and it started out of the DMs.
No way.
It was she reacted to one of my stories.
That's
so it wasn't
awesome.
intentional. Like her and I had never really met each other. And then she met up funny enough at Tin Roof to watch
no
one
way.
of our buddies play. And then it started as like a casual thing, and now it's like, oh shit,
That's
I think I'm in
awesome.
love.
How long have you guys been together?
So we started hanging out in November, but
No
we've been
way.
together been like fully together since like middle of April.
That's
And now
awesome.
I'm like going, she's got a little daughter. So I was like at her kid's birthday party at a trampoline park with
That's
a bunch
awesome.
of screaming 5-year-olds this
I love
weekend.
that, though.
It's funny how that works. And you're talking about COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like obviously one of the weirdest times in world history. But I feel like so many people found themselves
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and like had like for me, I found myself during that time. I moved down here in 2018. I was like bouncing on Broadway and going out on tour with the Muscadine guys, and then the world shuts down. I had time to kind of find myself and then find the friend group that I think I needed to be with the whole time, and I want to be where I'm at right now, like especially in this room in the Trey Lewis DM Monday studios
that's
without
awesome.
COVID. So it's like it's funny. Like so for COVID, were you down here? Or did you go back to Pennsylvania, or like what was your 2020
I was here.
like?
I was here. It was. I had just actually moved into a house with my best friend Emma and another artist, and so like we literally like we had just moved in. We're like, oh, single girl summer. It's gonna be awesome. Like, and then one of the girls ended up getting a boyfriend, and then obviously I met Dalton again, and yeah, I mean he and I started talking right before COVID hit, and then we got stuck in it together. So we stayed here in Nashville, and it was really fun. I mean, I won't lie. I think we were probably one of the first groups to ever get COVID.
Yeah.
Which was kind of scary at the time because like no one really knew what was happening. And the girl that I lived with at the time, she had tweeted about it, and Bobby Bones reached out to us, and there was like this whole like radio segment, and my mom heard it, and she was like calling. She's like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" Like freaking out.
I think I know the artist you're talking about too. I think I know her. Is it Kaylee?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So
Yes.
I know Kaylee
Yeah.
well too. I know Sam. We had
Yes.
Sam Varga was one of the last podcasts I did before
No
COVID. We had
way.
him. We aired that I think right around St. Patrick's Day. So it was like in between the tornado and COVID.
Yeah.
In 2019, and Kaylee's first headlining show outside of Nashville or outside of Maine was in Hoboken, New Jersey. When
No
I was working
way.
in the scene up there.
That's
And I
awesome.
got to kind of MC and like help out with her first show
That's
in
sick.
in Hoboken at Maxwell's Tavern in 2017. I want to say it was like 16 or 17.
Yeah.
So that's funny. Small world
Yeah,
shit.
right?
Yeah.
So I remember like clear as day, my mom calling being like, "Oh my God, you have COVID. What's going on? Bobby Bones is talking about it." And I was like, "Oh no." But we were totally fine, and we had so much fun. Like we lived right on South Street actually at the time.
That's a good spot to
It
be.
was great. And I mean, my roommate Emma and I, or she was my roommate at the time, my best friend Emma and I, we both skate. And so when it was like completely dead out there, we would just go and skate like Music Row and stuff. It was amazing. It was like probably some of the best times in like the worst time ever.
That's how I feel. The last 6
Right.
months when I moved back down here, because I spent time at my aunt and uncle's farm in East Tennessee. I played New Yorker, living on the farm, building fences and cutting grass and working with
Yeah.
horses and shit. It was a time. It was awesome. But then coming back, I started playing pickup kickball games with people. And
There you go.
that's how I met Trey Lewis and was very involved when Dick Down in Dallas came out.
That's
and
awesome.
all that stuff. And it's like, but that last 6 months, it was just bonfires at people's houses because the
Right.
bars were closing at 10, like not being able to do the things, everybody being off the road
Yeah.
and getting to actually hang out with each other and
Yeah.
being able to hang out in small groups with the small group that you wanted to hang out with.
Yeah.
Not going to Red Door and playing the, hey, how you been? Oh, you been on the road? Oh, I've been on the road. It's just like
Yeah.
the bullshit conversations you have at Winners and Losers and fucking Red Door and Live Oak and Tin Roof, which I love all those places, but it's not, there's something to be said for just hanging out with your crew and bonding
Right.
in a time where you're kind of stuck.
Yeah. I mean, our biggest comparison, I mean, I remember Emma and I, we had a lot of conversations about it, but her and I mean, the biggest comparison was it felt like a summer when we were back in high school.
Yeah.
Like, because, you can't go out and do anything. You can't, like, go out and drink. You can't go and, like, socialize like you usually are able to. And, I mean, it was just, like, you had to literally make your own fun. And we did. We did. And we really tried to make the best of it. And like you said, like, surrounding yourself with that group. I was very fortunate to have been around a group that we all got sick at the same time. So we were kind of just like, well, we're in this together
There we
now.
go. Let's watch Tiger King.
Right?
Here we
Yeah,
are.
we did that too. So
Joe Exotic.
yeah, it was wild. But yeah, I mean, and also too, COVID, like, as rough as it was, it like really kicked off a lot of artists' careers with like TikTok and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I'm proof of it. You
Yeah,
know,
same,
we were
actually.
doing So what was kind of your first impression of doing the TikTok thing? Because I feel like
Hmm.
TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Reels, like the short form shit. You've done very well at that, and
thank you.
it's awesome to watch like the little snippets of the videos or like the promos and the music that you've put out since 2020 has really
Yeah.
catapulted you to being like, this is the artist that I want to be. I'm
thank
doing
you.
things my way, and it's cool to fucking see.
Thank you.
Because
I
I
appreciate that.
remember seeing you grind before COVID. Like I remember seeing your name out there and seeing you doing the country thing, but you seem so much more comfortable doing the rock
Oh my
thing.
gosh, so much more. It was actually like a battle, I won't lie. I did not want to do TikTok.
I feel like
at
nobody
ever.
did. Nobody that was doing music before COVID wanted to do TikTok.
Yeah. And
Nobody wanted to.
I'm just like, I'll be completely honest. I am like a baby deer with fresh legs when it comes to social media. Like, I don't know what I'm doing half the time, most of the time. And so, like, for me to also, too, I'm like a very shy person outside of like my career, which is really weird. I feel like there's actually a lot of artists that are like that. I'm
Yeah.
sure, like, really introverted, but like for me to like put myself out there, it takes a lot of energy. So that was the thing I was like really nervous about. I'm like, if I do this, like everybody's gonna think I'm so dumb. Like they're not gonna like what I have to say or what I do. And I was like, I'm not funny enough to like do jokes and things. And I had no idea really what to do. And I know like before COVID had hit, I'd kind of dabbled with like the covers and stuff. Like I had done a John Mayer cover and things, and they were really successful. But, you know, I had seen a lot of people doing like, you know, the driver's license covers and like Justin Bieber. And I just didn't want to do that. I just didn't want to kind of fall into that, like that cover world again. And I just decided one day I was like, I'm just going to deep dive back into like my old music and like my old iTunes, like, you know, playlists and things like that. And I decided to do a cover of Jamie All Over. And when I posted that, it just like skyrocketed everything for me, really. And it was like, I think every day after that, I had posted a new like stripped down version of an emo cover. And yeah, I don't know. It was really wild. And it got to a point where I had people literally like messaging me, like requesting like a billion songs, and it got a little overwhelming after a while, but like it was really cool.
Yeah, when did the original stuff kind of start taking off? What song was it of this batch of new stuff that we've seen from you? Because I know you put out. I know Coma's the latest single, but you've had a few. I mean, I feel like Psycho was a big one for you.
Psycho was a big one. You know, because I was really afraid of like the whole like falling into the TikTok cover thing or like the cover artist thing, I did try to like really like mesh my own music in with the covers too. I had a couple songs that I had never released that did pretty well on TikTok, but I think it really didn't start until I think True Crime, because that's kind of when people were like, oh, it's like a mold of like country and emo, and so it was like kind of a new thing, and it was like that whole alternative thing. But at that, even then, like as much as I love that song and it did really well as like a first single back and everything, I just still didn't feel right like towing the line between country and pop punk, and I feel like I just needed to like jump ship.
Yeah, and go all in.
And just go all into the pop punk stuff. And so I think then like when we released In My Head, that was kind of like, people were like, okay, cool, she's like a pop punk artist now. Like this is where you should have been all along, you know?
Yeah.
And then it just kind of got crazy after that. Then like Psycho and all of that stuff. And Shapeshifting especially is another one. Yep. That's like one of my favorite songs. And people fought me on that one, and
really?
I remember showing like a lot of people, and it was between Psycho and Shapeshifting, and everybody freaked out over Psycho, but I was like, Shapeshifting is it. Like I love this song so much, and I don't care what anybody tells me. I'm gonna put it out regardless, and I feel like that's a song that a lot of people resonate with too.
I listened to both of those today when I was at the gym.
No way.
I was doing my damn cardio on the level 15 incline at 3.5, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm listening to shit. I got up to 4 on that. I was sweating my fucking ass off that I listened to.
I love that
and
song.
the energy in those songs, and I'm sure it translates over to the live show.
Oh my God. And Shapeshifting is really cool. I mean, both of them are like, definitely I would say out of all of the songs that I play, they're like more fan favorites. But Shapeshifting is just like, it's the moment, it's like going into the last chorus where there's no music and it's just like a raw vocal. Like I stop singing and I let them sing. And I mean, when we were at Download Festival was actually like probably the most eye-opening thing for me, because there was probably like 7,000-8,000 people in that tent.
That's a lot of fucking people.
And I think every single person was singing that part.
And in another part of the world, hearing your music.
Yeah. And it was just like
crazy.
It was insane. And so like I'm really happy that like of all the songs, people love that one. And like I've seen so many nights that we've played where like people really just like feel that one, and they really get into it, and they'll come up to me afterwards, and also in like videos and too. It's not only just like women, but it's men, and it's like kids.
I'm proof of that. I'm a Taylor Acorn stan. I listen to that shit. Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm really proud of that one, and I'm really glad that it's done what it has, and it's also still hanging on. So.
Yeah. Oh, it's just continuing to grow, and that's like the power of. I mean, obviously, it's different now with streaming, but I feel like streaming has given so many artists, especially on the indie side, like yourself, an opportunity to be heard by the masses around the world. And playlisting is so key. And I saw you're on quite a few playlists, which that's got to be pretty fucking cool too.
It is, and I won't lie. I had I always kind of had like lost hope in playlists because I was like, they're not going to playlist me, And then when the stuff started taking off on TikTok, I just saw a very organic like crossover from like that platform to Spotify, and I think that's when they're like, okay, wait, something must be going on here. So they started adding me to some playlists and stuff, and also too, I think like a lot of the curators had no idea where to put me because. You look at my Spotify and you see like all of like the recommended artists and they're all country.
Yeah,
and so
I
it's
noticed
like,
that today.
What is she? Is she country? Is she rock? Is she pop? Like no one really knew where to put me. So I don't blame them for like not knowing, what playlist to stick me on. But I'm very thankful for the love that they've shown me.
I kind of like when an artist like creates his or her own genre. Like you see that a lot right now in country. Like a great example, we had I don't know if you're familiar. Do you know the duo Lakeview? Have you seen them?
I've heard of them, yeah.
So they're guys that grew up in the hardcore scene.
Yeah, but they do like metal, right?
Yeah, like the Christian like hardcore scene, like the straight edge, like guys that are there to just deck somebody in like a Fox's Pizza Den, like weird,
Red, like that kind of band,
like that, or like the what the fuck is up Denny's, like that style, like that world. But now it's like they've blended that with like country. And their shows are still like hardcore where they want the country crowd to do a circle pit. They're trying to get to that. But it's like people ask me, they're like, what's Lakeview? And I'm like, it's Lakeview. It's its own thing.
It's its own thing.
It's like if someone asked me like, who's this Taylor? I'm like, she's doing music her way. It's not country, it's not pop, it's not rock. It's a little bit of everything because there is storytelling within your songs. Where like the songwriter like country stuff is kind of in there.
Yeah.
But the fucking riffs and the grooves and the melodies and the breakdowns are sick.
Thank you.
It's really fucking cool.
That.
So have you played a lot in town? Like, did you do the Whiskey Jam thing, the downtown thing at all? Like, were you ever a Broadway person or?
Not really. I would do like writers rounds here and there, and like, I think a few times I played at like Wild Horse Saloon and stuff, but like, I would usually play outside. Like I did the circuit where like we'd play like Saddlebags and like we'd go to like Dubuque, Iowa.
I know,
like
Saddlebags. I've had some times down there.
Yeah.
Savannah, Georgia is a time. One of the weirdest load-ins you'll ever have because you can't park a fucking vehicle on that cobblestone road and you're just in like this basement.
Yeah.
And those kids, those guys and girls down there get wild.
They're
Saddlebags
wild. And it was so funny because like when I would play there, I mean, I would do a lot of my like original stuff, but we played like pop punk songs.
Yeah.
Like we played emo like songs, and the kids out there, they would go absolutely wild. We had a handful of times where like I would have somebody come up to me and be like, play Cody Johnson, like get mad when I was like, no.
I don't. That's not me.
Yeah, I was like, that's not me. Sorry. Like you're gonna hear, The Middle by Jimmy World. But yeah, I mean, we played a lot of pop punk covers and stuff, and it was cool because I think like people weren't really expecting that, especially at like a country bar like that.
Yeah.
And that was always a really fun time also too. Like we'd go ride the bull after and stuff.
Oh yeah. So Saddlebags, you said Iowa. Where else were some other early spots for you? Because I think we've done kind of the similar like club circuit, especially in the Southeast and in the Midwest.
We do like, I'm trying to think, like we play in Georgia. I can't.
Did you ever do Athens? Did you ever do like 40 Watt or Georgia
no,
Theater?
We played at like
Was it Hedges at the time?
See, like we didn't really play a ton. Like we would do like really random things. Like we played at like this, I can't even remember what it's called. It's been a minute. But it was like a barber shop that like turned into a theater at night kind of thing, like a
Some Georgia
music
shit.
venue.
Yeah.
Yes. And like we would do like little things like that and like just random like one-off things. But like as far as like the touring goes, it was always like, saddlebags or like.
Did you ever go to Statesboro? Mm-mm. You never did the Blue Room?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's a place where the pop punk stuff does what? There's rock bands that go into there. Because Statesboro's like the home to like where Luke Bryan started and Cole Swindell and Dylan Marlowe and a lot of these, the South Georgia, the good old boys, the country
good old
boys.
boys, yep.
But there's a lot of rock love in the Southeast too and in Georgia. Yeah.
I mean, Atlanta is one of like the best cities to play.
Yeah.
And that one, I mean, we always have a really great turnout, and the kids show up and they sing loud.
Yeah.
They do. And it's really fun. But it's so different touring in the world that I'm in now versus in country. Because now I'm like actually getting to hit like I guess it would be considered more or less like touring now than it was before when I was in the country world. And so like I'm getting to hit like all of the East Coast cities.
So do you have a lot of stuff coming up?
I do. So I'll tell you, we have a first headlining tour in November.
Congrats. That's fucking awesome. That's got to feel so good from doing the Weekend Warriors shit and going and playing just random spots where you're mixing in a lot of covers to these people are paying money and they're buying your merch and they're paying to see you sing your songs.
Yeah.
Like that's so fucking cool.
Thank you. And I mean, we've done a few like support runs. Like we did the first real one was like Real Friends and the Home Team and With Confidence, like those bands was just like crazy because I was like, I literally went from playing country music, now I'm like thrown into like the deep punk scene, you know? And then we did like the Somerset, but and those were so awesome, but I'm ready. I think it's been such a long time coming. Now I feel like it's also really cool because I have a lot of fans from the country days that have stuck with me and like are showing up to like these Real Friends like tours and these Somerset tours, and they're like, I've never even heard of these other bands, but they stick around and they listen, and they're now kind of like incorporating pop punk in their own like playlists and stuff. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
So it's gonna be really interesting seeing like what we end up doing for like the headlining stuff. It's gonna be a mix of like moshing and crowd surfing and then like country fans.
Have you crowd surfed yet?
I haven't, but I do. I mean, my tour manager, she usually does like the last show.
She just jumps.
Oh my God, she'll just go like, and I'll see her just like flying through like the crowd, and I'm like, you're supposed to be on the side stage. What are you doing?
That's awesome.
Like, what if like my guitarist Ricky? I'm like, what if he needs something like his string breaks? He needs his other guitar or something. Like,
she's just flying
I'll see
around.
her, yeah, and then like sometimes my camera girl Ellie, she'll like go up and she'll do it too. But we get a lot of crowd surfers, which is like so. I like just get so excited.
That brings back the nostalgia of being at the Warped Tour. Like my college girlfriend, she was also from Pennsylvania. Because I went to Rider University, so right on the Bucks County border. So I spent a lot of time going over to Bucks County, and I got brought to an All Time Low concert. It was All Time Low, State Champs, and Issues. And it was and this was 2016, I think. 2015, 2016, and I was not ready. I just remember holding my girlfriend at the time by her belt loop and like, you're not going anywhere because I won't see you again.
I was gonna say also too, Issues is like kind of a wild card in that mix. So like,
and they were the first ones up, and they had like the Pokemon thing going on, like the Pokeballs, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
People are crazy.
I love the heavy riffs. Like I'm a big rock guy, but I work in country. That's what's funny. There's so much like crossover between rock and country. Like you look at guys like Hardy that are doing their shit.
Yeah, he's another one. I was like really, I mean, it's so cool to see, and also like Royal Lynn, like she's
Royal's a badass.
She's
That's a good friend of ours.
She's a good friend of mine, and she's really awesome. And her and I mean, I talked with her about a lot of like the country, like the alternative stuff, because when I started kind of dabbling in that, she had reached out to me, and she, had like done like the Rocket Man song and things like that, and she was telling me, she was like, I want to do like metal, but I want it to also be country. And I was like, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, like, she is doing such a good job with it, and like there is a lane, like there's a lane for everything. And also too, like you said, like you're a country guy that loves rock music. There are a lot of country people that love rock music.
Yeah, I mean, you see it, and then you see the crossover. And I know she's a co-writer with you, Cassidy Pope.
Yeah.
Who started out literally as one of the forefathers, I guess, foremothers of pop punk back with the Hey Monday stuff.
All hail.
And to see where she's at, to see then the transition that she made, and now where she's at, where it's like a little bit of a blend of all of it, and she's getting to do what she wants to do. Like it's the time for the fusion, you know. It's like you go to a fusion restaurant. Music is all fusion right now, especially here in Nashville. It's really
especially,
fucking cool.
and it's just really cool to see. And I'm, you know, if it's not me doing it, I'm just glad that like there are people that are doing like the country and like the pop punk.
Yeah, there's so many guys and girls that are rock players that are now in country.
Yeah.
Like you look at even like the guys in Brantley Gilbert's band, they're all metalheads.
Metal.
The guys that play even in Trey's band, they're rock guys by trade.
Mitchell
Like,
Tenpenny, I mean,
Mitchell
all of those guys
rocks,
were.
yeah.
I know, like Kyle Fishman, he was a guy that I used to write at the same publishing company as he did, and I mean, they were in metal bands like him, and I know Hardy was, I
Yep.
know Ernest, all of those guys were in like the rock scene, and they've done. I mean, Mitchell did a feature with State Champs, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's just cool to see like the crossover. It's something that you would like 5 years ago you would have never seen.
Yeah.
Because like the pop punk scene, like that Warped Tour scene was not cool.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you know, I feel like people are feeling so much more comfortable, and they're like, well, I'm going to bring the music that I like into the music that I make.
Yeah, I mean,
And
look,
so
I
it's
mean,
really
look,
cool.
look at tomorrow night at Bridgestone. I'm missing my round. I got my buddy Jadis filling in hosting for me. I'll be at Bridgestone for a sold out show of Nickelback, Brantley Gilbert, and our boy Josh Ross.
That
so
is
it's like
so wild.
it's like you have Josh, who's like the mainstream, like up and coming country bro out of Canada, a good friend of ours. Brantley Gilbert, who's like one of the forefathers of like rock and bro country,
Yeah.
and then fucking Nickelback. Like
Yeah.
you would have never imagined a tour like that happening, and for it to be selling like it is, a mixture of country fans and rock fans. Like it's
Yeah.
great to see.
I'm going to say this right now, too. If anybody that's watching this says you don't like Nickelback, you are a liar.
Yeah,
You are a liar.
There's people that say they like Nickelback, and then there's liars.
Oh my God. I freaking love Nickelback.
That was one of the first CDs I ever bought as a kid. I remember I bought them at Target, back when Target had that big CD section. That Tower Records, FYE, like you go in those stores and buy your CDs and stuff. And I remember getting Kenny Chesney, No Shoes, No Shirt, No Problems, and
love
then
that.
Nickelback for all the right reasons.
It was so funny. I was having a conversation with someone not too long ago, and they were asking about like the most underrated bands. And I said Nickelback because they were like one of those bands that were like not supposed to be as big as they were.
Yeah.
But they're so huge. And it makes me so happy because I still to this day, I remember sitting in the car. I was like probably like 7 or 8 years old when like How You Remind Me came on the radio.
yeah.
And I remember watching it on MTV and just being like, oh my God, I love these guys. They're so cool. Chad Kroger's hair and
With
everything.
his ramen noodle hair.
Yeah. And I know people would always say like that, he's so ugly and all this stuff. I was like, you guys are blind. I loved him. And then when he started dating Avril Lavigne and they got married, I was like, Mom and Dad. That's my mom and dad.
Yeah. So I would imagine Avril Lavigne a pretty big influence for you.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, for sure. I think probably like a little less than I think what people think. I am honestly probably the most inspired by Amy Lee and like
Okay.
Evanescence.
Yes.
So that was like
Yeah.
I mean, I remember getting the Fallen record. I was like 8 years old, and like you know, back then it was like you got a CD. You had like a karaoke machine that was half karaoke machine and also CD player, and I would like plug in my little Sony over-the-head headphones, and I would listen to that album at like 6 a.m. in the morning, like My Tourniquet and stuff. And then
Yeah.
I look back, I'm like, no wonder why I'm like so dark.
Yeah, there were some
But-
strong female led
Yeah.
bands back then. You look at Evanescence, obviously Paramore. You look at Hailstorm. You look at Flyleaf.
Yeah.
People sleep on Flyleaf. So
Flyleaf
many
is
fucking
so
hits.
sick.
And they were literally so sick.
They really were so sick. But yeah, no, I was a huge and still am to this day, like a huge Evanescence fan. And they were at Download, and I missed them by a day, and I was so sad.
Yeah,
I was so sad.
of those like lineups that you were at, like those festivals, because Rock festivals and country festivals are different. Like we went to one festival up in Ohio, in Fort Lauderdale. It's literally called Country Concert. Very original name. It's been going on for 42 years. It's the BYOB 35,000 person festival, and the lineup's just massive because they do a big side stage there. The rock festivals, you have like close to 100 bands at these things. Like it's nuts with like 3 or 4 stages, and it's just going all day, all night, like a different world. What was like, holy shit, I'm on the lineup with this band?
Well, definitely, like, we played a lot of the same festivals that Slipknot did, and that was wild because I was like, all right, Slipknot, me. How does that make sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't. But, I mean, it was really cool. Like, the first festival we played, Simple Plan was there.
Oh, dude.
And I got to sing with them.
Really?
Yeah, I sang Jet Lagged with them.
Dude, that's
it was really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I hadn't listened to that song in like probably since like 2011. So like, or whenever it came out, it was like a long time ago that song came out. And I had to like relearn it that day. I had like 2 hours to learn it again.
Yeah.
So I went on stage and I sang that with them, and it was really cool because I was like, this is a band I've looked up to, and like physically remember like watching their videos on like MTV.
Yeah, when
and
you would have
TRL.
when you would have TRL and you'd see a Good Charlotte music video followed by a Simple Plan, followed by a throwback to Sum 41 in the early 2000s. Like those were the good old days.
It was insane. And I mean, like, even, you know, I love the band I Prevail, and like being on the same lineup as them too. And like, I mean, there's a lot of bands that I really love. Like Stand Atlantic is a pop punk band I really love. I'm trying to think of like the bigger artists. Evanescence, I mean, that's crazy. Just to even like see my name and like them on the same like little banner.
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly, that was really cool.
Oh, what is his show like? Because he's another artist. Talk about fusion and just having different chapters within his career, from rap to rock to this to that. Like he's all over the place.
I mean, it's a rock show now. It's really cool. And he's kind of crazy. He like climbs on like all of the like the stage setups and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he's like pretty crazy, but yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Like Mod Sun, just people that I would have never ever thought in a million years I would be remotely even on this close to in person. You know,
that's wild.
I'm playing the same stages and stuff as them, which is really cool.
So I got to ask some Pennsylvania questions.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is a big one. This is like in Jersey, you have the division of Taylor ham and pork roll, and South and North Jersey fight over Central Jersey existing. In PA, you have Wawa and you have Sheetz. I feel like you got to be a Wawa girl, right? You're an Eastern PA. You're a Sheetz girl?
I'm a Sheetz girl.
I like Sheetz too. There's
Through and
something about those dollar hot dogs. There's something about them.
I swear, mac and cheese bites.
Oh, yes.
Mac and cheese bites, Big Mott's.
Yes.
There's nothing like it.
You get a Sheetz breakfast, it's late night, you're driving on I-81, or you're going on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and you see a Sheetz, it's like 3 a.m, it's like, fuck, I'm tired, and you know you got a clean bathroom, you're gonna get up there, and you're gonna spend a couple minutes at the little order thing, because you're like, do I want to get this? Do I want to upgrade to the big tots? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? I fuck with Sheetz. Sheetz pretzels are so good.
I will say, like, it's like the 2 hot dogs is always like my go-to, or like the I used to, for a while, I would get like the wraps and stuff from there. But I will say, I understand the argument of Wawa, but aesthetically and just like overall experience, Sheetz is way better.
Yeah, like,
hands down, you can't deny.
Yeah, like COVID could have started in a Wawa bathroom. Like it's not.
It looks sterile.
It's a Jersey thing.
Yeah. It's. I'm so sorry to anybody who... I love Wawa. I do, okay? I went to Kutztown University. We had a Wawa very near. But I, like... Every time I go in there, I'm like, why does this, like... It just is bland.
Yeah.
It's not as exciting as Sheetz is.
So my family lives in Delaware now.
Okay.
They just moved down from New York to Delaware full time. And I remember I was up there with Nikki T. I took him up there back in, I want to say it was like April or March or somewhere, May. All the fucking days and months blending into each other now. And we stopped at a Wawa on our way out, and it was the most chaotic experience I've had. I'm from New York. I know chaos.
Yeah.
Like I've also been to a Buc-ee's, which Buc-ee's is a whole nother animal. I've been to a Buc-ee's on a Sunday after church.
Yeah.
Like not I wasn't in church, but they were in church coming out of it, and there's just people everywhere. Being at that fucking Wawa, it was just chaos and
Chaos.
just people running everywhere. The folks weren't very friendly at the counter. You could tell the person behind the counter was supposed to be making the hoagies, popped out to smoke a cigarette,
Oh,
like just
Lord.
and backing up the line and everything.
Yeah.
And then, did you spend a lot of time going to Philly as a kid?
Not really, because we were definitely closer. We were like kind of in the middle. Like we would go to Harrisburg, and like I would go to Philly more so when I was in college, like for shows and things like that.
So you've been to the Milk Boy and TLA and all those places.
Yeah. So we actually played TLA,
That had to
and
be
I was
cool.
like, it was insane.
Yeah.
It was so cool, and Philly is always just like crazy, and like that strip. It's a free for all. Like there were people literally driving their 4-wheelers downtown, and like I walked outside because I had to leave early. Both of my bandmates are also from Philly, so like my whole camp we're all from Pennsylvania except for my tour manager. She's from Baltimore, so
Which
we're
is
all like
pretty
north.
much that's
Philly.
also northeastern mid-Atlantic trash. We're all cousins here.
We are,
We're all
We're
similar.
all like related some way, shape, or form. And so, like, even that, because I would go and I would go see shows. I remember I went to go see like Tyler the Creator and Kid Cudi, like
What a
shows like that.
show.
It was wild. I mean, like
What a ticket.
that was it was very wild. And like for like a little college girl, like going to see something like that in Philly and like not knowing anything really about it, other than like I've like driven through, was really wild. But like walking outside after that show, I was like, this is like 1,000 times more crazy than even being at that concert.
Yeah. My first time, one of my first country shows that I got to go, like, because I went to a lot of shows working in radio where you get spoiled and you get to do a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
You don't make a lot of money, but you do it for the perks. You do it. It's like Michael Scott from The Office.
Yeah,
you,
of course.
you do it for the perks.
Yep.
And the first show that I got to go to as a radio guy with like a ticket hookup was it was FGL
No
with
way.
Colt Ford and Dallas Smith opening, and it was at the Tower Theater in Upper Darby, PA. And I remember we took the train in. We took the SEPTA or the Patco or one of those in. I remember being on this train. That was back when I was still drinking. I was just being drunk as fuck and being like, what is going on? And then I went to a Mummers parade one time on New Year's. You're familiar with the Mummers stuff? When everybody dresses up, it's like everybody dresses up in drag. Drag shows are big in Philly, and they have the Gayborhood, which is the nicest part of Philly. Philly's a dumpster fire, but and chaos, but like the Gayborhood is like the cleanest part. Just like in Jersey, you have the Asbury Park, which is very, very clean and stuff. But yeah, Philly was just, and coming from New York, I always had my thoughts. Like I'm never gonna go to an Eagles game because I'm a Giants fan. Yeah. But like, are you a big sports person or not really?
I am. I'm more hockey than football. I mean, my boyfriend, his family's like huge like Steelers fans. Like
okay, cool. So that's Raised Rowdy. We have a bunch of black and yellow stuff because Nikki T founded Raised Rowdy back in Pittsburgh.
No way. That's
so
awesome.
he's a Pittsburgh guy. So we'll hook him up with some black and yellow stuff where we keep everything in Steelers, Pens, and Pirates colors.
Did he cry when Ben Roethlisberger left too?
I mean, yeah, he was upset. I mean, but Nicky's also in his 40s, so he remembers like before Roethlisberger got there. Yeah, he remembers like the Bill Cowher days and like. But yeah, and that's how I felt watching Eli Manning. It's like the era of watching football as a kid. All those guys are gone now. You don't have Peyton and Eli Manning. Tom Brady's even gone now. This is the first year without Tom Brady in forever.
Yeah.
Big Ben. He was Did you ever? We actually played at. You ever go to Milledgeville, Georgia? Did you ever play there?
No.
So we got to play at the club where he had his controversial incident.
Oh,
his bathroom incident. Like he crashed his motorcycle and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Big Ben, he's a character.
Yeah. My boyfriend, I've never seen him cry, and he cried when Ben Roethlisberger.
Does he have a terrible towel? Does he have one of his yellow ones?
They're just like, they're diehard fans. Like, I mean, through and through. Like, even pretty much with like all of the Pittsburgh sports, they're huge Penguins fans too, which I love because I'm a Penguins fan.
You are? Okay.
I am.
So I'm glad you picked, I'm a Rangers fan, and then what's nice about us being from the Northeast, we can pull for our teams, but we can also pull for the Preds because they're Western Conference. So there's no conflict. They play each other twice a year unless they both make it to the Cup, which doesn't usually happen.
Like for some reason though, like I love Nashville so much, but whenever the Penguins play here, they like treat us like we're their worst enemy.
Well, yeah, because of the Stanley Cup in 2018. That was the closest they've come. That was the closest a
they've
Nashville
come.
team has come to winning a title since the Titans back in the 90s. Like
I know.
they were there, and that so you were in Nashville at that time.
I just moved here.
Yeah, because that summer, and that was the summer, I moved that fall.
Mm-hmm.
That summer was when you had CMA Fest and the Stanley Cup at the same time.
Yeah,
and you
it
had,
was wild.
And then you had Bonnaroo going on down the road, all at the same time.
I
And
remember
it was just chaos.
I remember I was at I think it was Martin's Barbecue. It was like one of the last one of the last playoff games between them, and it was like it was very close, and I think it was Sidney Crosby scored, and you could hear a pin drop in that place. Everybody was just like so mad, and I was kind of drunk, and I was like, "Whoa!" Everybody just turned around, they looked at me, and they're just like giving me that death glare.
That's funny, yeah.
Like, you're gonna die.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories from when I was at Whiskey Row, because I was a door guy there. I went from being in a radio station and working like 5Ks and talking to soccer moms and being like, here's the new song from Taylor Swift on Magic 98.3,
Yeah.
to working the door at Whiskey Row. So I saw a lot of shit. I saw Broadway, the worst sides of people come out on Broadway. And there was a lot of teams when they come to play the Preds or come to play the Titans, they'll come in a day or two early to go out in Nashville.
Yeah.
And there was one day, it was like a Monday night or a Tuesday night, and there happened to be a lot of like Canadian people in town for something. And I remember everybody just looking around, like being like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, who's here? And I turn around, and the entire Penguins team is in Whiskey Row. And I remember my security, our lead Jay at the time was like, "Hey, so make sure nobody fucks with these guys. Like they're our guests. Like treat them well. They're good." And I remember Crosby had to go to the bathroom on the first floor. And I remember having to stand outside of the door to make sure none of these Canadians went in and like freaked out on him, because he's like a god up there to the Canadian folks.
I mean, he's a god to a lot of hockey
he
fans
said the
even
kid,
here.
Yeah, he said the kid. Yeah, he's the guy. He's
insane.
the guy. But I remember like and they were all really nice and very like him, Malkin. Those are some big motherfuckers. Marc-Andre Fleury was on the team back then.
Oh my
like,
God.
It was that golden era of the Pens from like, because I was 20. That was like the winter going into 2019. So yeah.
When he went to the Knights, it was the saddest thing.
Yeah,
ever.
and then he had success with the Knights.
He did, and it was like, but it was kind of messed up how they did it. Like, I don't know if you watched that game at all.
No.
When they played the Penguins, it was like his first time back to Pittsburgh after he had left, and they like right before they started the game, they had like an ode to Fleury, and they had like all of these like videos of him playing, and he was crying. I'm like, what a way to get into somebody's head. Like, this man didn't want to leave. He wanted to stay, but I mean, he did really, really good. I think he might be like a free agent or something now.
So you're a big hockey fan.
I am.
I love that. That's
I am,
awesome.
Yeah, I do love hockey very much.
What are some other things that you're like, some other like interests that people would be like, oh, I wouldn't expect Taylor Acorn to be interested in this. Like, skating makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
you
skating
look like a
makes
girl that
sense.
knows how to ride a longboard. Like,
I mean, I like, I'm sure a lot of people know this. I'm really into fitness. I have been for a while.
track and field girl makes sense.
I ran track and field. One thing that a lot of people might not know though, is that I bodybuilded for a decent amount of time. Like,
Really?
I competed. Yeah.
What was that like?
It was weird. It was
That's
really
a whole.
weird.
That's a whole culture and a whole world within itself.
It is. And it was really interesting because my brother, he also works in like the fitness industry, I guess.
Yeah.
He does like marketing and stuff. I think he does marketing. Honestly, I don't really know what his job title is, but he works for US Nutrition, and they have like metrics and like pure protein and all that stuff. So like he would go to the Arnold Classic a lot of the times for like his booth there. And it was cool because I was working for this woman. Her name was Jan Tana, and basically she created like the OG spray tan for bodybuilders.
Wow.
So I like would go, and that's kind of how I started getting into it. I would go and I would like glaze bodybuilders. It's just like put oil on them, and it was really weird. Like, looking back on it,
that had to be a little awkward at times.
it was
How old
it
were
was
you when
like
you were
really
doing
weird.
that?
I was probably like 21. It was weird.
Just glazing all these
Just
steroided
glazing the
jacked dudes.
steroid. Yeah. And a lot of them are a lot shorter than you would think they are.
Yeah.
A lot of them are foreign too. And like, so they like, I'd be glazing them and they'd be like saying like weird things to me in like a different language. And I'm like, this is really awkward. But, I would like work the booth for Jan too. Like I would model or whatever. And, I started kind of getting more into the scene. I knew like, I'd met a lot of people in that world and, you know, obviously started competing and stuff and doing all of that and training a lot. And I, you know, was at that time I was like going to get like my personal training certification and everything like that. And so that's like a weird part of my life, but I've always kept fitness in my life.
I
It's
can
more or
see
less like
that. I can tell that you work
thank
out
you.
and that you run. And I've recently gotten back into it because
No
my
way.
girlfriend's really into fitness, and then my sister went to Scranton and got her doctorate in physical therapy and everything, and she works at a physical therapy thing and does like CrossFit and does like. What is it? Is it the Murph? Is that the big workout thing that people do, like around Memorial Day or something?
Yeah, it's really hard.
There's all those. Yeah, like she does all that kind of shit, and she'll go and like run a 5K like that. And then my brother was a track guy, so I think he's doing the Philly Marathon coming
that's
up.
cool.
Because his girlfriend was a runner too, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm doing it," and he was saying something to my parents about it, and was like, "Yeah, I'm doing it, but he won't do it with me." And he was like, "Oh, fuck it, I'll do it." And it's like, how can you just say, "Oh, fuck it, I'll do it," and then just go do a marathon?
Like
how
that's
can,
insane.
Like every other sport's punishment is running.
Yeah.
And that's what your sport was.
It literally was.
Were you distance or were you like short distance or what?
The furthest I would run was like a 400 meter.
Okay.
I like in high school, it was weird. I was like one of those, sounds like so cocky to say. I was like one of those like athletes that they would kind of stick in whatever event if they wanted points.
Yeah.
But I had done track pretty much my whole life. Like my dad was a really good track athlete, and he got me in it when I was really young. Like I started when I was like 6 years old.
Wow.
And we would do like it's club track. So we would go at this time like we had lived in Seattle, like a suburb of Seattle, when I was like young until I was like 11. And we would go and we would do like meets in like Seattle, and we do kind of like all over like Tacoma and stuff like that. And so I started when I was really, really young. And so I kind of like going into high school, I kind of like knew how to do everything. And like obviously being from such a small town, like they don't take it as seriously there as like they would in like the club track that I was in previous to. And I don't know. It was, I kind of did a little bit of everything. I did like the 100, 200, 4x4. 4x4 was like a big thing for me. And then 4x1 also. And then my events were usually like the 1, the 2. And then my senior year, I started doing 300 hurdles. And I found out that like I was really good at those.
Well, yeah, you're tall. You can jump.
Yeah. And so that year I went to, honestly, it was kind of funny because I had never done them before. And my coach put me in them because it was either I did that or I ran the 400. And at the time, my cousin, being in a small town, you go to school with all of your cousins and your like everyone.
Yeah.
And my cousin was really, really good at the 400. And obviously you have some like family rivalry there.
Yeah.
And I did not want to lose. And I knew that she would have beat me if I would have done the open 4. So I decided to do the 300 hurdles, and they put me in a heat. I'll never forget. It was like at our league meet, and it was like all of the schools that we would race all year round were in one meet together. And they put me in a heat with one other girl, and I ended up winning like the whole thing. Like I beat everyone.
Girls and guys?
No, I mean it was just girls. Like
Okay.
for the girls, they put me in with one other girl because they didn't know like what my time was. I ended up winning. I qualified for districts, and then districts I ended up getting first, and then I went to states and I got third.
No shit.
And I was like, I wish I would have been doing this my whole like 4 years of high school.
No
like that would have
shit.
been really dope. But when I went to college, obviously I kind of did like. Still did like the 4x4, still did like those races and things like that.
Yeah.
But they put me in the pentathlon and the heptathlon, which was a lot.
Yeah.
And then I did the 400 hurdles.
Yeah. Did you ever go to the place in New York City where they have the really high like embankments? Is it the Armory? I forget what they call
The
it.
Armory?
Is it the Armory or something? Some of my brother used to have to go and do that all the time.
No,
like
I never got to do
like
that.
the indoor track stuff where it's like the running and they have like the
Oh, yeah,
the
like goes
embankments and
up.
stuff. Yeah, it's a whole
Yeah,
other fucking
that's
world.
insane.
Like, how do people do this? So what do you got coming up as far as music? So your last release was back in April, and you've been just running all over the all over the road. You've got the headlining tour coming up in the fall.
Yep.
What do we got as far as music coming? Because I know as a like knowing you now. The writing doesn't stop. The creativity doesn't stop. The thinking about songs in your head and being like, I want to record this. I want to put this out. I want to tease this on socials. Like, that doesn't stop. So I'm sure you got something cooking in the kitchen.
I do. So I have a really cool feature coming out this next month in August.
Hell yeah.
It's really cool. I think it's really cool. I hope that other people think it's really cool too. I have that coming out, and then I have finished writing an album.
Let's go.
Yes.
That's fucking awesome. Albums are not easy, but they're so much fun when you get to have a whole group of songs together.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously it's been a really long time since I put out like a full project of just my own stuff. Like literally since 2017. Since then it's been like singles, and then I've done like a cover. I did like a cover EP, things like that. And so this is like the first time where I have like a group of songs that I'm just like so proud of. And I'm really excited for people to hear them. And it's like, it's me, and I finally found my sound, and it's fun, and it's depressing, and it's like all of the emotions in just one project. And it's hopefully going to come out in September.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Breaking news. That's awesome.
Breaking news.
Super excited for you. And
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on and hanging.
No,
and,
thank you so much for having me.
And I figured we get along. You being a PA girl and a rocker,
Hey.
a rockin' country chick who does a little bit of both and all that. And we actually do in the I know you'll be busy in the fall. We're going to be doing we do a butt rock night
I love that.
at Live Oak. Do you know Mikey Angert and Dean Purificato or any of those guys? They used to be on the road with Tyler Braden. They play downtown all the time, or like Jamie Colazzo or any of those dudes.
I'll be honest. I am like the worst Nashvilleian ever because I like know no one.
Okay, so we have some buddies that all came up out of, and funny enough, Mikey's from Pittsburgh and Dean is from Connecticut, so they're other Northeastern
All
guys,
just,
and
like,
I forget
Northerners,
where Jamie's from, but they're all rock guys. So what we do, and it started as an idea when we were all really high, going down to Key West. We had a layover in Atlanta. We were like, why don't we do a butt rock night? Like, why don't we just do a night of, or it's like, so we have they play in the house band, and then we have artists hop up and sing butt rock songs. So it's like Creed, Limp Bizkit. Everybody just sings once. It's like the emo nights that they do at places. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you sing, like you get up there and just do that. So we'll let you know when that is. And if you're in town, you want to do it. It's at Live Oak. So it's just you hop up and you rock out, and the whole night. Like we had Austin Snell do it. We've had Ella Langley, Josh Ross, like a bunch, all country.
Kind of like an emo
artists.
night?
Like an emo night, but it's nothing. We call it nothing but rock.
Okay.
So like I have a Nickelback hockey jersey that I wear for it. Like we go all into it. Dean and Mikey wear like they have like the like they look like they're mannequins at Hot Topic.
I
like
love that.
they have like CDs hanging off the chain wallet. Like he had like a Creed CD hanging off a chain wallet, and he's wearing like the dark out like Django jeans and like all that shit.
Oh my gosh.
We're big into all that stuff and love what you do, and very
well,
excited
thank
for
you
the
so
music to
much.
come, and we love spinning the
you.
shit out of the music that you got out. Where do people go to find you on all the socials and website and all that shit?
Where can you find me?
Yeah, where can you find where can we find
where
you
can
aside
you
from
find
sitting
me?
right here on the couch now?
Maybe like hiding behind a tree outside or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. You can catch me on TikTok at Taylor Acorn 1 because they won't let me have my actual name.
Really? TikTok,
Yeah,
we got to
I've been-
fix that. We got to fix that. She's been huge for your algorithm and huge artists coming out on the platform. Give the girl her name. Come on.
Yeah, give me my name. Come on. No, it's actually been kind of funny because like it's just been like a running joke from like when I started. I was like, they won't give me my name. I don't know why. But yeah, you can catch me on TikTok. Keep up with me on Spotify. It's just Taylor Acorn, YouTube, all that good stuff.
Do you tweet?
Apple Music. I do tweet.
Do you thread?
Some would say
Yeah?
I attempt.
Yeah, Threads is
I'm
different.
not-
It's weird. It's different.
It is. Like, I feel like
And I guess Twitter's not even Twitter anymore. It's X.
I just noticed that today.
Elon's doing some crazy shit.
I just noticed that today. I was like, what? Can I swear?
Yeah,
Am
you
I
can
allowed?
swear.
I
You can
was
say
like,
whatever you want.
What the fuck is X?
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't download this. And then I clicked on it and it was Twitter. Like, it was like the whole
Yeah,
Twitter
it sounds
format.
dirty.
And I was like,
It's
what is happening?
it sounds like a dirty app, but it's just Twitter.
I mean, it is, yeah.
Like,
but
where's the little bird?
I know. The Twitter community that I have is, they're like, they're pretty unhinged. And so I, like, on there, I feel like I can be, like, my full self.
Let's
Threads,
go.
I'm still, like, I don't know.
'Cause it
I'm
feels
treading
like,
the water there.
Because it feels like your Instagram audience on there, which your
Yeah.
Instagram audience and your Twitter audience, which are both different from your TikTok audience.
Yeah.
Like, every app's a little bit different.
Yeah, and I mean, I try to like be as authentic as possible on Instagram and stuff, but obviously, like, I mean, it's hard because a lot of the times you show like your best highlights of your life.
Yeah.
And on Twitter, I'll be like, I mean, I'll just say whatever, you know.
Did you tweet
comes
today?
to my mind. No, I did. I literally right before I came on here, I clicked on the X thing because I was like, "What the fuck is this?" But now I know it's Twitter, and
Well, we will follow. We will follow you on.
might tweet
on X.
something
Yeah,
about this.
about this, or about
Yeah.
X, or like, what is this? Yeah,
What is this?
that's
Makes
awesome.
no
Well,
sense.
really appreciate you coming on, and happy to have you as a
you.
part of our Outside the Round Raised Rowdy family. Always good to.
Happy to be here. Very
Hey.
happy to be here. Thank you so much for asking me to join. So-
Awesome. Well, guys, be sure to check out our girl Taylor Acorn. Be sure to go check out her dates in the fall. She can be coming to a city near you and got some new music coming. So y'all be sure to follow her on all the socials. Also, be sure to check out our friends, of course, from Big Friendly Productions, Whale Tail Media, Saxman Studios, and our boy Mitch Wallace with The Digital Marketing Agency. You want to know more about us and what we do here at Outside the Round, visit raisedrowdy.com. For our girl Taylor, for old sweet boy behind the camera, I'm Matt Burrell, and this has been Outside the Round.
Come on. Yeah. I ain't never been the kind for staying in one place for too long. I ain't never been the best at saying I love you to a girl I love. Only got a couple tricks up my sleeve. They usually just make them leave. So if you